Speaking of Miss Frankel,
Oh my God. Okay, go on, because I didn't understand a lick of this. Go on.
so Bethany, she's on her TikTok and she's, doing this video and saying, this is why I left RHONY, which, mind you, I thought we talked about this. I thought we've had this grand statement before. I mean, she's basically saying like, for all of you that say I left because of money, I didn't leave because of money. I left because I wanted to. I believe that. And she's like, if I stayed, I would have stayed for money only. So I believe that. I believe, like, she didn't want to be there. She definitely didn't want to be there. So she would have stayed for money. They would have said, here's a number you can't say no to, because everyone has a price. I have a lot of prices, guys. Give me money, name your price. I'm going to say yes. So she would have stayed for money. I get it. And she's like, I didn't leave because of money. That's what you all have wrong. I left because I basically hated it there. I believe that. Then I agree with you. It got very convoluted and it didn't make any sense.
I didn't even gather. I don't know if you want me to play, like,
I mean, you could, because I mean, I read it and I could. She's basically also saying like there's a clause that was put into the contract, which is really because of Lisa Vanderpump and NeNe Leakes.
Money. If I had stayed, it would have been because of the money. I left because I wanted to leave. I was ready to leave.
Can you even hear it?
Yeah.
Deal point as my
technicality. It's like no one gets that.
Someone very close to me, and I went to work when the show came back. I didn't want to. Pros play hurt. I'm a professional. I show up on time. I deliver. That's my reputation in business. So there was a new point, and this new deal term was because of housewives in different cities who just decided not to film because they didn't like other people, because they were at odds. So they decided not to film. So it affects the quality of the show. So this became something where they had to add this into all contracts, just like the BETHENNY clause named after me. This new point said that if you don't appear in an episode, then you won't be paid for it, which does make sense. It just doesn't make sense for me because I already knew that the production company said we'd never air an episode without you. They told me that directly. I have receipts. And I already knew that I'm a professional and there would just be no situation where I wouldn't show up for work. But sometimes these little things, if you're thinking of leaving and you don't want to be there, I'm the type of person that one thing will give me an excuse. So I said no. And the reason for that term was housewives in other cities who weren't filming. They just decided not to film. And
Okay. Rambles on after
First
this.
of all, she's also feeling herself about the BETHENNY clause, but okay, girl. I mean, there is a clause named after her. No, but basically there's that clause that's like the NeNe Leakes, like Lisa Vanderpump clause, where like NeNe got like millions of dollars her season and never showed up and was in like 5 episodes, and Lisa Vanderpump didn't show up. So they changed it now. They changed it. The contracts are changed because of NeNe and Lisa, where it says like, if you decide you're not in an episode, the episode airs that week and you are not there because, Lisa won't film with Kyle or NeNe won't film with whoever, you're not getting paid. So it's like paid per episode. And it comes out to like, Candy makes 2.8. It comes out to your regular salary, but any week you don't want to film and be in the episode at all, you are going to be docked your pay. And it's really because of Lisa Vanderpump and NeNe. But she's actually saying, well, I never missed an episode because players play hurt. That was her exact words we just heard. Yes. And I never missed an episode. And Dennis died but I would never miss an episode. So therefore, she would never get docked the money. So you should just sign this because like it doesn't apply to you if you're never, like, I'll never miss a show. I mean, I've done this show through COVID twice. I've done this show through, a little nip and tuck here and there. Hello. We have to keep ourselves looking young. Like I am one of those people, like truly, 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 unless I have food poisoning or like my leg is cut off or, my sister was just hit by a car and is on her deathbed. Like, I show up. So to me, if there was a clause, so she's saying like, I'll show up no matter what. So then why does this clause matter? She's saying it's almost like her argument is like,
I don't get that. Wait a minute. I don't understand the argument because she's saying she quit the show on a technicality. So what was the technicality that
she didn't want this clause? Because this clause is now in every housewife's contract that you will be docked. Say she's making $2 million. You will be docked. So 2 million divided by 10, let's just keep it easy, 200,000 an episode. So if you are not in last night's episode of RHONY, because you said, I hate Ramona, and I'm not going to, the Berkshires to Dorinda's to film. I'm not going. Well, the episode comes out and you are nowhere to be found on the episode. That happened with NeNe and Lisa Vanderpump a lot. So they changed it. So if you're making $2 million, just keeping it simple, and there's 10 episodes and you make 200,000 an episode, you make 0 for that episode. Your salary is now 1.8 instead of 2 million. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So she's like, I'm not signing that, because I'm not going to be documented. But she's saying, I will show up no matter what. So really, girl, you don't have to worry about this clause, because she just said, I will show up. That she's saying, and that clause will never apply to me. So she was just mad that it was in there because it will never apply to her. I argue the opposite. As a lawyer, if it's never going to apply to you, just sign it. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's never going to apply to you, like if someone said you're going to be docked or paid, David, if you don't show up to do the recording.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll sign that. That's not my sticking point, because I'll never miss this show for these lovely 20 somethings that listen here every day. So her argument is, she's saying like, I don't know, I was just pissed off. And now the production company is saying, well, we would have like waived that clause for you, or she's saying that, which is really just another reason. Here's my thing.
She didn't want to be on, right? She just didn't want to do the show anymore.
Right. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand a little clause that sticks. I would be like, I'm not signing this.
He was good.
Like, for me, like when you and I are talking about ads and ad sales, and not to give people a look behind the curtain, but I will never sign an exclusive. You want me to advertise for this? You want me, when you want an exclusive, and I've said, absolutely not, go fuck yourself. And then they come back, oh, we'll still advertise. Great. I'm not doing an exclusive. Are you fucking kidding me? So like with like a company. So if there's something that's really going to affect your bottom line, you're like, I'm not signing this. If it's not relevant, just sign it. There's a lot of clauses I read it, I'm like, all right, well, this will never apply to me. I don't like it in here, but who cares? So her argument is like, this will never apply to me, but it just pissed me off. It doesn't make sense to me. Does that make sense? I don't think so. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, I watched this video and I felt the same thing. I just thought, this is like, why are you even posting this video? I don't understand.
Well,
I don't think the general public cares. The general public doesn't understand contracts or technicalities. So, and I do go back to what, it's funny because a couple episodes ago, I think you were talking about this, about how like Bethany says she wants nothing to do with the show. Then we hear her like, look, I'm guilty of doing this in my own career at times, because I was associated with a radio show in DC that was very, very popular that people still remember. But to me, Bethany just throws it out there, the housewives out there, to just remind people that she was still like a major player, and use it to just like fuel the fire and grow publicity. But it's just at this point, it's like I don't know. To me, it's like, you can't believe her. Like, I want nothing to do with it. Oh, hey, I'm going to drop this video of why I didn't do it. It's just, but I have also been guilty of that, because the truth is, people, I think even more than Skinny Girl stuff. I mean, like, I even forget, I'm like, oh, did Bethany do Skinny Girl? Like, people are always going to know her. That was her moment of fame. Like, that is what you know her for. And even though she's, and she's trying to promote this book. So, she just keeps recycling these stories it is genius, but also it's like, I just watched that video and I was like, one, no one gets this. And two, I don't care.
I agree. Like, when people come on my show, these women get read for filth, which is my new sentence. I've used it like 13 times in the sentence. But, people are like, well, why is she still talking about the show? I'm like, I called this person on, like they're on a podcast and I'm asking questions. I will let you know that every single housewife that is no longer on the show that comes on my podcast, they would be thrilled to spend an hour where I talk about their new business and their kids and their mother and their dog, and not have one housewife's question. I swear to you, let me tell you what happens behind the scenes, everybody. They don't want to talk about it. So when everyone says, why is she talking about it? Tiffany Moon and Gretchen Rossi. And I'll go down the list of all the exes. I have all the exes on. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. This is behind the velvet rope. We are major. They all come on because I stalk and I make them come on, and that they don't want to. People are friends with me and they still don't want, they don't want to talk about it. And then they begrudgingly do it, like a Carol Raswell. And then it goes viral and they're in fucking 13 headlines. And they, I think they feel like, some of them feel I mean, I don't want to make light of it, like raped by me. It's like, I don't know what other word to use. It's not, it's like, we're just, but so nobody wants to talk about housewives. They don't. Bethany is not on a podcast. She's sitting at home with her own phone. Shop, I agree with you, girl. You obviously want to talk about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I think
Like the
smart.
people I have on, trust me, they don't want to. I get, can we have just 2 questions and this? I've had people say like no questions, and I'm like, girl, you're not coming on with no questions about the housewives. No one gives a fuck about your new business. Sorry, like we'll get that in there, but we have to talk about, you
Yeah.
know, Brooks has cancer, and you know, Vicky Gunvalson doesn't like family vans, and so you know, I think no, but so that's the thing. I agree with you. Why is Bethany sitting there with this phone in the comfort of her own home? Girl, you're talking about it a lot. And I mean, if it's to promote a book, great. But I agree. Nobody, you are the number 1 housewife ever. You have won the game. You've won. No one else will ever do what you've done. You have moved on. You have real businesses. Unlike all these other people that need, you know, the paycheck, you don't need it. You've won the game, sweetheart. So I don't understand it either. We're never going to forget that you came, you saw, you conquered, you destroyed, and you slayed.
I think she needs to promote the book. And, you know, if you follow her on TikTok, I mean, she now does all these makeup reviews. I like them. I think they're really great because she's very honest, which I think is most of the makeup creators start out honest on TikTok. And then of course, you know, they're paid to endorse things for thousands of dollars. And then they give up, you know, fake